Chapter 25. Unlike in my nightmare, my speech that afternoon ended up going just fine. Of course, I was nervous when I first stepped up, but once I got started on demonstrating the proper hand-washing technique and explaining why it was so important when caring for others, my anxiety melted away. Mostly. Enough that I was able to give the rest of my speech without running out the side door in humiliation, anyway. I'd also talked to Davi about Karasuru earlier in the morning, explaining my difficulty in finding any information whatsoever about him, much less any actual stories. He seemed extraordinarily surprised that I was even trying to research the topic, but wouldn't tell me where I could find any more information on it. That was half the assignment. I used the library computers to hop on the internet again during class that day to see if I could find anything new. Even searching through all of Belim's library websites, I couldn't find any more books than the two the school already had. I was just about to throw up my hands and storm out of the building in frustration when Christoph, of all people, came up to me. "You are actually trying to write about Karasuru?" he asked dubiously. "Trying being the operative word," I grumbled. "I can't find anything." He reached around me for the keyboard and I pushed myself away. "Have at it." Christoph opened up the internet search and typed in Komiduru, Kaden, and Potures. "What the?" I stared at the words. "What does that mean?" He pressed the search icon and stepped back. "That's all the help I'm going to give you," he said simply and walked away. "Wait, what? How?" But he just ignored me and walked back up the stairs to our study room. I pulled my chair back over to the computer screen and looked at what his search had found for me. Unsurprisingly, there were only 2 results. Surprisingly, there were any results, given the fact that the 3 words Christoph had written down looked like gibberish. The first one was a story written in Portuguese by someone named S. Phillips. Phillips had gone exploring in the Amazon rainforest and had stumbled upon a shrine to someone named Kaden. One was a language they couldn't understand at all. The other was some odd variation of Portuguese that they later figure out was called Potures by the Comidoru who had written it. They admitted that they weren't sure if it was the name of a person, a tribe, a religious text, or something else. It was a shrine to a great hunter named Kaden. The Yedramora believed Kaden was an earthly manifestation of their great god of the hunt who crossed the sky every night on his eternal chase. You could always know who he was by the great red gem he carried, which was said to be a drop of blood from the sun. Phillips had been unable to get any images of the shrine since they had lost much of their equipment, including their Magicus camera, after being chased out of their campsite by an anaconda early one morning. The second link sent me to a page that I quickly realized was a part of a conspiracy theorist website. It had copied Phillips's story and dissected it, drawing odd conclusions that didn't make any sense. A recent edition, noted by the date at the bottom of the article, claimed that the Yedramor had used their holy book, Komiduru, and their story of Kaden to validate their attacks on Bruchette 4 months earlier. I rolled my eyes and closed the page, but left the Phillips story open long enough to print. I retraced my steps from the night before to also find whatever semi-reliable information I could on Karasuru being a god of hunting and jaguars. Between those and the 2 books from the library, I figured I had enough resources to throw together some kind of coherent paper. I couldn't be certain, but given that Christoph had led me in the direction he had, and with my suspicion that he knew more than he let on, I took the leap to write the paper that suggested Karasuru and Kaden may have been different names or different forms of the same deity. I had it finished by that evening, which gave me time to focus on the work for my other 4 classes the rest of the week.